Now we're wife.
Okay. Hello, my friends and family from around the world. This is Lade from astrological.com. And first on the channel with any news about what is coming for us in August is Krasi, who is primarily sidereal astrologer, but she will cover
Ah,
all 12 signs. And with the tropicals and sidereal signs, the tropical are what we use in the West, and the sidereal is the actual constellations. So, hello, Krasi. What
hello,
is
Wada. Hello, everyone. Yes, we'll be looking at August now. We had very harmonious July, I think, with these perfect alignments, which we discussed with Wada. Very important celestial events are taking place now in August. First one is that now on the 28th of July, Jupiter turns retrograde. He's already stationary. He turns retrograde, and he will turn direct again on the 23rd of November. So it's quite some time. Jupiter will be retro. Now, this shouldn't worry anyone because Jupiter is benevolent planet as such. Even retrograde, he's not bothering us at all. Even some astrologers consider him very good, like giving the good in slow motion in portions. So Jupiter is certainly not bad. Now, um, the interesting part is that he turns retrograde conjoined Al Genip. It is a star which has nature of the conjunction of Mars and Mercury. Mars, Mercury together, it is disturbance of speech. It could be reviewing the truth. It is like Jupiter will be emphasizing on truth, not necessarily good news, but he will be reviewing. I don't see Jupiter exactly like maybe modern astrologers see him as necessarily enlarging things. I see him mainly as benevolent. When in November he turns direct again, it will be very interesting because it will have it to me looks like an omen, Wada, because he turns direct exactly on the point of the vernal equinox. Significant emphasis, trigger events which are meant to happen, which are very karmic for our era, the era of still Pisces. We are on and at the gates of Aquarius. So Jupiter will be, yes, he will be helping us. He will have this his role of the great awakening for sure. In the meantime, he is softening the energy of Saturn, who is in Capricorn, and right now Saturn is extremely intense because he's a phase called a chronicle rise. It's like he's very young, full of energy and power. The more negative event is this conjunction. Maybe everyone speaks now about this. I'm not sure, which is happening any moment, and it will be having impact on the whole August, September, October long. And this is the conjunction Mars, Uranus, Rahu, the head of the dragon. This is happening where 24 degrees Aries. These are the back parts of the Aries. These are considered negative degrees in Aries. Mars in Aries, extremely strong. Um, Rahu in Aries, we know he brought the war. Not only he, but he triggered the war in the world. And Uranus in Aries is there since April of 2017. Very strong explosive maybe conjunction. With this, what we can expect are, especially in August, almost from the beginning of August, I think we can expect to hear very surprising, very drastic events. I also don't exclude any natural disasters because these three can easily provoke very high temperature of the climate, but also I think eruptions of volcanoes. This can be very explosive. This is not to scare us because we chose this time, interesting times to live to and to learn. But it looks like because this thing, these three when they conjoin, they will be squared by Saturn. to me, not 4 degrees distance is serious, is already a square. So I usually look with very positive eye towards any, any important event. Also, this I look as very karmic, like something that we have to go through together as a collective. We will be seen. I think it will be very drastic. I think it may invoke further protests, warlike situations. This is what I expect, to tell you honestly, Wada. Well, yes, Jupiter is there to help. Well, yes, Venus will be sextiling from Gemini. Always there is the help, of course, for us to survive, to go through this, for us to also to be able to look from the positive side. But this is more or less what is going to happen in August. Yes, the good thing is that the first appearance of the moon for August taking place exactly, I think it's 30th of July even, appears in the heart of the lion to give us courage. So most probably we will be able with some work to be very courageous, very brave, and to watch and to do spiritual, activities so that we really experience this with wisdom. This is what I want to say. But
And
yeah,
I
I
can
repeat.
add
Yeah, say.
astrological zodiac perspective because I also use tropical, and it's more like local Earth zodiac, the tropical, and it's happening in Taurus, the Uranus-Mars conjunction with North Node, and we saw the uprising of the farmers who produce food. One of the major things that's currently happening, and we're expecting any moment for something big to happen with the financial system and money. So let's see whether it acts just on the constellations, or whether it acts all through it seems to act from the signs and the constellations from me. So it's interesting. And of course, I would warn everyone, like I warned with the posts on my Facebook, around those dates, the end of July, the beginning of August, be careful if you have to travel with planes, with machineries. I've traveled once on a Mars-Uranus conjunction. Sometimes you have to travel. It was just so stressful, and there were 2 car crashes on the road to us. Then we nearly missed the plane, and then people were getting panic attacks on the plane. So it was, and they delayed. So it's not necessarily that something horrible happened to you, but it's just more stressful around such periods. And
very, and also Uranus ruling the air, the exactly airplanes, like you said. We can see crashes taking place.
But recently, today and yesterday, there was occultation of the moon passing in front of Mars and in front of Uranus. It's like an eclipse of Mars and Uranus by the moon. You can't see them, they're exactly behind. And there was a car crash, not car crash, sorry, airplane crash. Everyone died on the plane here over Greece. So it's such kind of things happen around that time.
Yes, well, yes, but we have to, people with ascendant, Sidereal ascendant Aries, or this will be tropical Taurus, or if you have this on your midheaven, or if you have moon there, you need to be more cautious, especially during the first part of August. This is for sure, because this can be very, very intense. So let's look now, as we usually do, at the 12 ascendants. We'll be looking from sidereal, but also tropical perspective. Just 1 second to adjusting. Now, as I said, we look from sidereal, and if you don't know your time of birth, you can also use the moon sign. So if you have sidereal ascendant Aries, then from the perspective of the modern astrology, you most probably will have ascendant Taurus in case that you follow this or that systems. So, like I mentioned, these important karmic events are happening right on your ascendant. Yes, you have to be careful. It is like not being afraid. Careful means it is raining and I'm taking my umbrella. So let's say this can have impact on your emotions. This can have impact on your career, on your romantic life. So you have to be very wise. Find time to maybe to meditate. Find time to to read, because Mars is quite intense on your ascendant. He's your ruler. Then you have also Rahu, then you have Uranus on your ascendant, and Saturn from your career place will be squaring, meaning this month of August, I would not advise you to take important initiatives, important travels, especially during the first part of August. So this is very important. So, like even surgeries, you may postpone or leave for the second part of August. The good thing for you is that still the luck is on your side. Nothing is that bad and negative because the moon appears for the first time right in the heart of the lion on your fifth house. Venus is making very harmonious aspect, sextile to your ascendant, sextile to the first appearance of the moon. So I do think that you're on the safe side. Just be wise and careful and don't do any important initiatives during this period of time. I'm sure that the second part of August will be easier and more harmonious for yourself. Then we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus, or this will be tropical ascendant Gemini or moon in one of these two places. For you now, Venus is not anymore on your ascendant. Venus moon moved into your second house. Financially, this is fine. The first appearance of the moon happens for you on the fourth house, important of home. This will give you these aspects are still your ascendant aspects, your ascendant ruler. This will give you courage, maybe courage to do work related to property, real estate, or to do your work from home. This is not a bad placement at all. Jupiter is benevolent for you financially, Venus as well. Saturn, very strong in a chronicle rise, is kind of emphasizing on knowledge, on it is not, I don't see any danger for you to travel, but still, Saturn is very intense. He may give you such desires. He can be very good for studies, sharing knowledge with others. But still, also you during the first half of August, be a bit more, wise and cautious. But in general, I don't see any trouble for you. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or for the people who use the tropical astrology, this will be Cancer. Good for you. Jupiter on your 10th house, doesn't matter that he turns retrograde, he can be benevolent for your career. Venus is on your ascendant, also quite good, saving you, protecting you. This is really very good. The first appearance for you for the moon of the moon for you happens on your third house, communication, desire to travel. You may travel, just be cautious. Again, first 2 weeks of August, be a bit more careful. Also for medical interventions, more appropriate to be the second half of August. This conjunction, which we consider a bit explosive, of Mars, Rahu, Uranus, for you happens on your 11th house. Be careful when you make financial decisions. Also, in terms of friendship, social life, finances, there, communication with children, there you may also to be wise and careful. But in general, you're very safe with Venus on your ascendant, of course. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Leo. Also, you can use the moon sign, like I said. Now for you, a bit careful with your career, workplace. There you may experience disharmonies, or also communication with, with superiors. In general, you may need to be diplomatic and careful at your workplace. Now, good is that Jupiter is trining your ascendant to give you very good protection, very good, even retrograde, he is very good. The moon appears for the first time from the month of August in the heart of the line on your second house. This can show emphasis on the family roots, finances as well. I do think that the sextile which Venus makes to the appearing moon And the fact that Jupiter makes this harmonious aspect, this is benevolent for your finances. Be a bit cautious with your partner, and especially at your career place. There I expect the disharmonies to occur. Any agreements, partnerships, a romantic partner, there you may need to be a bit more cautious and patient, especially during the first 2 weeks of August. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant, Leo, or moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Virgo. Now, for you, the good thing is that the moon appears on your ascendant. You are important, yourself, your knowledge. You can work on your courage to build courage, to build self-esteem, self-love with this appearance of the moon. It's very important. And actually, for you, we called it explosive conjunction of Mars, Rahu, Uranus. It's happening on your ninth house. This is good because this house is benevolent for you, Aries, and it trines your ascendant. So I see this as not dangerous, even can give you drive to study, to learn, to meditate, to enhance your intuition, even to travel. But you have to watch out when you travel because this is too strong and can create disharmonies, especially during the first part of the month, the first half of the month. But financially, Venus very fine in on your 11th house creates harmonious aspect. I think that financially you'll be aware, okay. Be a bit cautious with your partner too, because Saturn, who rules your 7th house, is in a very intense phase. But in general, I don't think that you're in danger. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Libra. For you, this conjunction that we discussed, which is not very harmonious, is taking place on your 8th house. Let your partner be cautious with the financial decisions, with agreements. Also, money that you generate via partnerships, be a bit cautious. Be a bit careful also. Health-wise, you may need to be responsible for your health for the first, 2 weeks in particular of August. Venus is benevolent very for you on your 10th house, actually helping your career, helping your even communication with superiors, career plans, career growth. Jupiter is helping relationship agreements very well. Be a bit cautious and attentive to children during this period of time. And yes, when it comes to travel, again, after the second week of August would be more benevolent. But again, Venus on the 10th house is very helpful, and Jupiter in angular position, again, they work like guardians in your horoscope. So I do think that you'll be well. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Scorpio. Now for you, Venus, which is ruling your ascendant, is trining. Again, this is harmony is very good, helping you a lot because this otherwise quite intense conjunction of Mars, Uranus, and Rahu, the head of the dragon. This conjunction is happening on your 7th house, meaning that you have to be in particular cautious, patient with your partner, also with partnerships in general, agreements. There you may need to be more cautious. Also at home with parents, deals that involve property, real estate, your home, there you have to be also cautious, career-wise as well, because of this square which is forming. Especially during the first part of August, be more cautious. I do think that Venus and Jupiter make such good aspects that they will be helping you, of course, but still, I thought, but still, be careful. Be also when traveling, try maybe important travels to a bit later, after the second week of August. Now, people who have a sidereal ascendant Scorpio, or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Sagittarius. For you, your ascendant ruler very, very strong, very intense, with Uranus, with Rahu, this conjunction that we mentioned just, all in the sixth house, can make the sixth house for you, the routine, the job, eventually solving conflicts, to be very important. But I would tell you, be more balanced if you can, be more patient and diplomatic, be more responsible for your health. This is very intense. Um, the first appearance of the moon is good for you on your 10th house, in the heart of the lion, gives emphasis on your work, on your career, can give you courage and desire to do something. But I would tell you, wait a bit, be a bit patient. Um, Jupiter is in a lucky place. He had yet direct, but still he is in a lucky place on your fifth house, the house of the good fortune, good for your finances, good for your children, good for communication with children. So I do think that you only need to watch out a bit for your everyday routine, that it doesn't become intense, a bit annoying environment. Careful with people, be more diplomatic and be more responsible for your health. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius, or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, it will be about Capricorn. Now, Jupiter is your ascendant ruler. Everything which he does certainly is very important. He turns retrograde on your fourth house. This is good. Emphasis and desire to do something in your home. It's a blessing on your home. Can move your work at home. Can be also Jupiter is aspecting Venus in your seventh house. This is good. It is fine for your relationship. Be a bit attentive with children, careful because of this conjunction of Mars, Rahu, Uranus, which take place in Aries. And because of this, Saturn may give you interesting financial developments, which I see as good, but it would depend on how your Saturn is positioned in your horoscope. If you have well-placed Saturn, this will certainly be benevolent. This strong acronical rise of Saturn on your second house can help you solve issues, matters with family members, for example. But in general, I don't see you really afflicted from Uranus, Mars, Rahu conjunction, but just be careful with children and how you make financial decisions as well. Also, the first appearance of the moon for you shows opportunity to study, to meditate, to learn a lot, to share your knowledge with others. Now, let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn, or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aquarius. For you, very intense. Saturn in a chronicle rise on your ascendant. This is very strong. Could be, most probably, since you're ruled by Saturn, you experience this as strong. Could be that it helps you achieve your goals. Could it be that it helps you very much financially. Just be a bit patient and cautious at home with parents. Also, when you make important financial decisions, especially related to deals which may involve properties, for example. Be cautious also at work with superiors. Now, Jupiter and Venus make very interesting aspects, both in the third and sixth houses of your horoscope. Jupiter can be very benevolent when it comes to knowledge, communication with brothers and sisters, sharing knowledge. Venus, on the other hand, can make your routine job environment harmonious, can bring peace. If it is about travel, yes, Jupiter is benevolent in the third house, but because of this conjunction taking place, I would tell you rather travel after the second week of August. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Pisces. Saturn for you, your ruler, very strong, very intense in a chronicle rise at the beginning of the month, um, in your 12th house, can make you a bit desiring self-isolation, researching the occult, researching the, um, the secrets, the being empathic, helping others, be on your own, even choosing to emigrate, to travel somewhere. But then Uranus is the one who is also important as the second ruler. He's the one who forms this very intense conjunction with Mars and Rahu happening on your third house. And this is really very, very, very powerful. And would say better direct your desires to for something new, towards knowledge. This can give you interest in new knowledge, new education, maybe travel, but even if it is travel, be a bit cautious in the first 2 weeks of August. Jupiter is very benevolent financially. Venus as well can help you study, dive into new form of knowledge, education, creatively. So this is very intense. Certainly, it is a lot about creative knowledge. It is a lot about knowing, enlightenment. But just also you try to avoid these first days of August. Yeah, Jupiter financially could be very benevolent with Venus to offer your horoscope. And now we look at the Pisces, Sidereal or Aries, tropical, or if you apply the moon sign, you can also do that. So it will be Sidereal, Pisces, tropical, Aries. Now for you, Jupiter is retrograde, but on your ascendant, very benevolent. I see this as very good. This great, important, explosive conjunction happens on your second house, meaning that you can have, be a bit cautious when you make financial decisions, when you communicate with people from your family tree, family roots. Especially making this can bring you financial opportunities very surprisingly, but also would mean that you have to be very balanced and careful when you make financial decisions. Venus is very good, very well placed to give peace on your home, to help you when it comes to real estate, properties. So this is very good. Now, the communication with children can be intensified with this phase of Saturn. So be a bit attending, careful with children, and also diplomatic with friends, and on how you make financial decisions. There you may watch out a little bit. But Jupiter works on your ascendant as a very good protection, blessing. So certainly you will be well. So this was more or less about the 12 ascendants, what to expect in the month of August. Wada.
Thank you very much, Krasi. Thank you for being succinct and to the point. And I hope people found it useful. And Krasi, are you doing any promotional reading this month?
We have to see maybe the one from June. Since you mentioned this, you can prolong the one from June. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Krasi. Have a great August. Well, we have to be careful at the start and at the end of July. But otherwise, after that, August seems to be more peaceful.
I think so. I think
we'll have August and September kind of peaceful, and then the party starts. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Wada. Thank you, everyone, for watching.